Okay, today we're going to talk about the HL7 segment Terminator. The segment Terminator is the ASCII carriage return character. In hex, it's represented by numeral 0, letter D, and in decimal, it's represented by 13. In the default encoding, it follows every segment, including the last. So let's go back and talk about ASCII for a moment. ASCII stands for American Standard Code for Information Interchange. ASCII is the most common format for text files in computers and on the internet. And it's also used in HL7 messages. In an ASCII file, each letter, number, or special character is represented with an 8-bit binary number. A binary number is a number composed of ones and zeros only. Computers talk to each other in binary. In fact, right now, as you're reading this, there are more computers talking to each other in binary than there are humans talking to each other in any other language, or all languages combined. There are more computers talking to each other on this planet than there are people talking to each other. Skynet is real. So, in ASCII, the letter uppercase A would be represented as 01000001. While computers are great at communicating in binary, it's not very effective for human communication. So for programmers to show their code to one another, that they developed other formats for ASCII code. The two most common used in HL7 are decimal and hex. In decimal, each character is given a numeric value. In decimal, uppercase A is 65. In hex, each character is given a combination of 16 possible characters. They are the numbers 0 through 9 and the letters A through F. In hex, uppercase A is 41. So again, let's go back now that you know what hex and decimal are. The carriage return in hex is 0D. In decimal, it's 13. So, at the end of every segment, there is a carriage return that lets the computer know, hey, this is the end of the segment. The next line is a new segment. Since the carriage return is invisible when the message is printed out, programmers either use the decimal or hex value to show where the carriage return is at. The carriage return value in decimal is 13, and the carriage return value in hex is OD. Another way you might see the carriage return in a log file is in symbol form. The symbol for the carriage return is CR. So in the log file, it would look like this, /CR/. That is the ASCII symbol format for the carriage return. Again, the carriage return is the segment terminator. It marks the end of the segment, right? So whenever HL7 is reading a segment, it gets to the end. It knows that's the end because there's a carriage return there. It knows, hey, I'm done processing the PID segment. I can go on to the NK1 segment, or I'm done processing the EVN segment. I can now move on to the OBX segment. Whatever it is, the segments have an end point that is a carriage return. Field separator. The field separator is the first field in the MSH segment. It's called MSH1. It's always the fourth character in the MSH segment. Obviously, the first three characters are the letters M, S, and H, and then whatever character follows that is the field separator. The HL7 standard recommends using the vertical bar as the field separator. Notice this is a recommendation, not a requirement. If a programmer wanted to, he could change the character used as the field separator, giving the message an entirely different look. So check this out. So here we have a normal looking HL7 message, and if you look, you see in green, you have all of the field separators, right? The vertical bar is being used all over this message as the field separator. But I can change the field separator. If I go into the message delimiters, I can change the vertical bar. Let's say I want to use the asterisk. I can make the asterisk the field separator. Now, the same message, except instead of vertical bars, it's all the vertical bars are now asterisks. It gives the message an entirely different look. Now, realistically, nobody would do that. That's truly crazy. Although HL7 allows you to change the field separator and encoding characters, nobody actually does that in the real world. At least I've never worked with, talked to, or heard of anybody doing it. It's much easier to exchange messages with other systems if everyone follows the HL7 recommended standard. However, I cannot in good conscience say that absolutely everyone uses the vertical bar as the field separator. What I can say is that the correct answer to this test question is C. What character is the most commonly used field separator? That would definitely be C, the vertical bar or pipe. Thank you for watching.